the least of their worries.
Back on the trail, there's Pickles ahead.
Very motivated. Would love to skip to Sand Valley. Someone's not letting me.
No skipping unless there's a fire.
Okay, let's go.
Good afternoon from the PCT. Back on the trail after about 24 hours in Etna. As you can see, there's a lot of smoke and haze behind me in the mountains. So we did, as you could probably tell, get off the trail to skip around a wildfire. So this fire is known as the Big Cliff Fire. It's not contained, it's growing. Last I heard, it was less than 2 miles from the PCT, and we were hiking straight toward it yesterday. So we could see the smoke from the trail. I mean, I could see smoke starting from when I left camp in the morning, and then a southbound PCTer came through and said that he had gone through that area at 6:30 in the morning and the fire felt very close and he knew that it was growing. So he just warned us what was ahead, especially because as I passed him, there was a highway only probably a mile or half a mile ahead. So he said, you know, use your best discretion, make good choices, all that. So I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I got down to the highway. There were a bunch of other hikers there trying to hitch out. One of them had said the trail was still open, but they talked to a firefighter who recommended that they not continue northbound on the trail. And so we thought that was probably a good reason to get out. Molded over for quite a while. I sat down at that highway with Blackbird for at least an hour. Pickles was a little bit ahead. She ended up turning around and coming back. And this really nice family, they were there to pick up their daughter, Ella, who works at a summer camp in the area. Dad, Chris, sister's friend, they all had come to get her. And Blackbird and I were just chatting with Ella because she was sitting there reading a book. And they ended up offering us a ride down to Etna. So I wasn't sure I wanted to leave. I kind of didn't want to leave. Because we were far enough away where I thought, we can see how it plays out. There's another road that we can jump off in 20 miles. But I just thought, we're being offered a ride. We don't even have to hitch. Like, let's get off the trail where we have cell service and can get more information. And then later that day, the PCTA ended up closing 20 miles of trail because of the fire. So technically, we could have hiked 20 more miles on the trail. But you got to make these decisions in the moment. So ended up missing about 40 miles of the PCT. And now we have skipped around it. And so we're starting. We missed the 1,600 mile mark. We're starting just ahead of that, hiking towards Sayad Valley. And it was interesting last night as we were in Etna, we saw a bunch of helicopters going overhead carrying buckets of water. And they were crossing, going in opposite directions. We heard there are some other small fires around as well, but I think the one they're really worried about right now is the Big Cliff Fire. And as we got to the trailhead to get back on the trail, we saw some firefighters getting ready to take off in a helicopter to go fight the fire. And we asked them, do we have anything to worry about going northbound on the trail? And they said no. So safely back going in the direction away from the fire. Oh, and another thing is we heard yesterday at that road crossing that the area that we were in actually was going to be red zoned for fire danger. And so that was another reason we decided to get off, because we thought, if it grows quickly and it could come this direction, we just don't want to be stuck out here. But we lost Blackbird. He decided to hike on yesterday. Of course, then the trail ended up closing, so he had to get off the trail. He stayed on last night, was running from a bunch of hail, dealing with wildfire smoke, and then he got a ride into town today. But anyway, Pickles, Mono, and I are back, ready to do some hiking. I'll be curious about this section because Pickles said she heard there are a lot of blowdowns in this section, which won't be super fun. But then I also read that somebody else said this was like one of their favorite parts of the trail. So who knows? I guess I'll experience for myself and see what there is to see and hope that no more wildfires pop up. There were a bunch of hikers in Etna yesterday, and I heard a bunch of them were actually skipping up to Syad Valley. Pickles and Mono would probably like to skip up to Syad Valley. I don't want to. I don't want to skip any trail. If I don't have to skip a section of trail, I don't want to. So that's also why my decision to get off yesterday was, I was kind of torn about it, but you know, you got to make the best decisions you can with the information that you have in the moment. And ultimately, I do think it was the right decision. So anyway, time to hike on. Let's go. You can really see the smoke coming up over there. Entering the Marble Mountain Wilderness. Looks like we're not done with the burn sections yet. And it's hailing out here again. I hope it doesn't get too bad because I'm under some pretty dead trees. Not a lot of cover here, not a lot of cover around. It's thundering a bit over there too. Okay, the hail is big enough that it hurts now, so I'm hiding under a live pine tree. It's working pretty good. I'm getting cold though. Current situation. Okay, first of all, this storm has lasted hours. It's still going hours later. I am drenched to the bone. I'm so wet. I did hide under some pine trees a few times when the hail got really bad and it was like hurting. So that was helpful, but then I would get way too cold. So I'd be like, well, can't stay here. I'm gonna get hypothermia. Gotta hike on. So then I'd hike on until I couldn't stand the hail anymore, and then I'd take another break. A vicious cycle. And it feels like the storm has just sat over us. Like I've been able to see sun and blue sky in the distance in several directions for like this whole time. And yet it has not been here. Still above me, gray clouds. Second of all, I just saw a trail crew. I assume they were AmeriCorps, but who knows? Moving a bunch of huge, dead, burned trees off the trail. So huge thank you to that trail crew. They're the real MVPs, although they did get me with a trick. One said he was gonna give me a fist bump, and then he gave me a snail instead. And then another one was like, here, I'll give you a fist bump to make up for that. And then they gave me a moose. So no fist bump for me, but I forgive them because they're doing tremendous work out here, and it must be such hard work. And they're also out here in the storm, so they're awesome despite the snail and the moose. Like, you see these trees that have been cut and they're like pushed off the trail? I'm sure that was that crew. They're literally just a group of them pushing trees off the trail. Oh no, they haven't gotten to this part yet. Lots of blowdowns.